Hi, it's Gwen Fox, and there's an age-old question. When is a painting done? And that's a very good question, and there are lots of answers from lots of different people. And one of them is that a painting is never done. And what do they mean by that? Well, they mean that as you grow, you look back on your paintings and you see things that you didn't see years ago. I know that there are times that I see paintings that I have sold and I look at them and I think, oh my gosh, there's a glaring flaw, but I didn't see it years ago, but I see it now. So maybe a painting is never done. But what if you're doing a painting now? And that's the question. What if you're doing this painting now and you want to know, is it done? Well, I have a painting behind me. I have this painting right here that I'm working on, and there's something wrong. And I don't know exactly what it is, but it's missing something, and I've got to figure this out. So what I do when things are not, when I don't know what to do, here's what I do when I don't know what to do, is that I turn the painting upside down to look at it, or I turn it sideways. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this painting upside down, and it gives me a different perspective and a different way to look at it. And so when I do this, it's a whole different painting because I'm looking at it differently. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at this painting and I realize I like it this way. It's closer to being done to me than it would be the other way. So what I'm going to do now is decide what to do in order to pull it together. So number one, let me tell you what I like about this. I like this area. I like all of this. I particularly now like that you can read this because this really says volumes because of the times that we're in. And I did not realize it when I did this at the time that I really wanted to see this. I like a lot of this, but there's something missing. Now that it's upside down, I see a flaw. And the flaw is that this right here, this writing needs to go up. And that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to see what else needs to be done. Maybe more marks need to be done in here to pull it together. I don't know, but I figure we can do this together. So I am going to get my small brush, a small brush, and I am going to figure out how to do the Oriental writing. I've got this on there, but it's a little bit too bold. So I'm going to push it back with a little bit of Tighten Buff is what I'm using. To see if that's going to work. It may not work. But the other thing that I might do too is do some line work, some of this. With now, I may not like all of that. So I'll go over it with some Tighten Buff again. Getting rid of some of it, having some of it disappear, and some of it staying. Bring out my squeegee here. In other words, what I'm doing, I'm playing. I'm trying to pull it together with something. I want to keep the interest here. And I want it all, though, to come together with some things. I think I need a little variance in this area. So I think what I will do is mix some Titan Buff and black and see if I can't get a really pretty off gray that fits in with the painting, because I've used that color in there. And let's use the let's use this just to break that up a tad. Not much, just a little bit. And see if we like that. I don't dislike it. But now I would like some Titan Buff over it to kind of soften that a little bit right there. There you go. Now, the reason that I'm doing all of this is I'm asking myself a question. Why and where does it need? What does it need where? And why? What's the painting talking to me and saying? So now I've got to stand back and look at it and say, is it done? And I'm going to look at the whole painting now to see if I like it. And I like the area at the bottom because to me it has more personality. But it might need a little darker. So now we see the whole painting. However, I think that it needs a little extra white in a couple of places. Maybe along and up in here. Now, I think that it needs to have a little more writing because I kind of got rid of the writing. Now I'm going to come in here and kind of clean this up a little bit because I kind of feel it needs that. Now I'm looking at this, and this area seems to be separate right here. So I need to connect it. And I think it needs to be with something bold. So I'm going to take a big piece of charcoal, and I'm going to now, that's a little too bold, but I knew that's what was going to happen. But what we can do is come in and cover part of it. This area right here, I really like because it obscures part of it. It breaks up the line, which makes it easier to, this is now connecting both sides. And I do see one other problem. I think this needs to go over a little bit and here, and kind of break that line. So what I did was just go over that line so it's not so bold, and now I think it's going to work. Take my charcoal again and come down, and I don't want that. I don't want that. So that was a bad move, see? I mean, in my opinion, it was a bad move. So we're going to cover that up. I may like that little bit of white. Who knows? We have to stand back and look at it. Don't forget to always stand back and look at it. This area right there is a little messy. I think I would like to calm that down a little bit. This area right here I feel is a little messy and just needs to be calmed down. And let's see if that did it. As you can see, I just played. I played and had a really good time. But guess what? I just looked at it and there's a major flaw. And I want to know if you see what I see, and I will show you that next week at the next one. So be sure and tune in and see if we both see the same mistake, because this is going to be fun. Anyway, I love you. Take care. And if you haven't subscribed, do so. We'd love to have you. Bye-bye.